At Tesco, we're delighted to announce our brand new Salthill Express store is now open, where the quality you've come to expect from us is now just down the road. Pick up some great value essentials, along with some high-quality meats and fresh fruit and veg, plus some tasty treats from our in-house bakery, serving you up freshly baked goodness. Tesco. Every little helps.
This Christmas, get ready for something truly magical as Yulefest Kilkenny proudly presents the Irish debut of Starlight by Lux Morales, a 360-degree immersive light and sound show, bringing you on a powerful journey into the heart of Christmas. For 8 spectacular nights from December 14th to 21st, the show will transform St. Canice's Cathedral into a breathtaking immersive world of sound and light. This is a Christmas event not to be missed. Tickets are selling fast, so get yours now at yulefestkilkenny.ie.
GoLoud.
Is it true that if you have a gambling account, there's no chance of you getting a mortgage?
That is not true. Everything from loans, overdrafts,
Klarna.
so it'll pick up.
Anyone
Yes,
flat out on
Klarna.
Arsehole. Maybe he's starving on him. Maybe the man fancies him. Oh, maybe it'll get... Yeah. Hello guys, and welcome back to an episode of Hold My Drink. Yes, it is me on my own, Ellie. How are yous? I'm here today on my lonesome, but not to fret. We had an amazing episode with my mortgage broker Sinead. I know over the last few months, me obviously talking about the house so much and whatnot, I had so many messages about where to even begin. So if you were in any way interested in moving in the direction of a house and stuff, this is definitely the episode for you. Other than that, it's nearly Christmas. I bought a few. Have you bought much? Well, go away, you. Do you know people and they say in September, I'm finished? How? I always think if you buy too early, what happens then when like December rolls around? What if you see something better and you're like, fuck? I think I'm like 50% done. I feel like it's always just the little small things. Yeah. Oh, gift sets and fucking whatnot that you're not arse going out and getting. It's all those little smally bits that you're like, oh, for God's sake, I couldn't think of those, like arse going out getting them. But yeah, I feel like it's gonna absolutely fly in.
Are you putting up a tree?
No, I don't think. If I put one up, it'll be a small one on my table. No, I don't think so. My furniture actually arrived last week. I don't have space for a tree. Where am I putting a tree? Did not take into account how big my like, don't get me wrong, love it. Like, it's huge in the best way possible. And I was standing around that and I was like, where am I actually fitting a tree? I have to put a tree in the kitchen, but that actually might be cute though as well.
And you're kind of open plan, aren't you?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that'd be lovely.
So a tree in the kitchen could work somewhere.
Yeah.
But yeah, my furniture all arrived last week, so it's really feeling like a home.
And a Christmas tree's only up for a couple of weeks. Your couch is forever.
It's forever, and I absolutely adore my couch. So I'm not moving that thing to put a tree in. Are you mad? No way. But like, I had my cousins up in the house recently, and they were like, "I don't think you should try and be in for Christmas. You'll stress yourself out. It's not going to be decorated the way that you wanted it. Like, it's not going to fit. Like, I'm in my mum's anyway, kind of thing."
It'd be nice to do like a New Year fresh start.
That's what I'm thinking. It'll be all clean and there'll be no Christmas tree shite. But my mum keeps trying to pawn off all her old decorations to me. She pulled out the decorations last week and she's like, do you want any of them for your house? Like, these are things from like our childhood probably. I was like, for where, mum? Where am I putting these? No, you're all right. Not happening. So I don't think I'm going to be the Grinch. The Grinch this year, and I don't think there's going to be a tree up. But that's okay.
But I think, as you said, it's better to wait until it feels right. It's as you want it. It's done.
I don't want to half-arse it. Like, I don't want to just, have it shit and be like, why did I even attempt that?
Yeah.
So, next year we'll have a big tree.
I'm dying for the full ensuite review. I'm not going to
Are
lie.
you?
Yeah.
It's beautiful. It's very nice now, I have to say. Delighted with it. That was like the one thing for moving in that I was like, I was dying to do and like really wanted to renovate kind of. So No, it's stunning.
Oh, I can't. Yeah, I'd say it's fab.
I'm never going to want to leave it.
An ensuite would be like a non-negotiable for me now.
See, it was for me as well. But like my non-negotiables were mad. I was like a south-facing back garden, a driveway, this list of things. I had to literally sit myself down and be like, are you for fucking real? Like, unless you want to live out on your own in the middle of nowhere and have all these things, but no. But I do love an ensuite now, I have to say.
Yeah.
Can't be arsed going out to the other toilet.
Yeah, but it's just nice having your little bit of privacy
Isn't
as
it?
well.
Your own little bathroom, cozy.
Yeah.
Love it. No, I'll have stuff posted on the homepage if you're not already following. Actually, it's Ellie Kelly Home. But yeah, I'll have more like stuff to post on the feed, because I feel like anything I've been popping up lately has just been little kind of snippets of things. But like now that my furniture is actually in, the ensuite is finished, like I'll have proper stuff to post.
And you never know, you might get a few presents for the gaff over Christmas as well.
Like, everybody that keeps asking me, I'm just like, just buy me something for the house. Who should I ask? I was like, I just want oven gloves. I asked someone for oven gloves recently because I went to go and buy a pair and it was these like rubber things that were like separate.
Yeah.
They weren't connected on like a connected. I was like, I don't want them. Yeah. Or I asked my mum for a tea cozy. That was one thing.
That's cute.
You know? So anyone... If anyone has me for Chris Kindle actually this year, anything for the house, I'd be delighted with, guys.
Salt and pepper shakers,
you name it. The whole shebang. Be delighted with. So today, like I said, we are talking about something that might give some of the people in their 20s and 30s in Ireland the fear of God, the word mortgages. Today we are joined by Sinead from Finance Solution, who was actually my mortgage broker. She was, honest to God, my guardian angel when I was trying to figure out what the hell I was doing. And one of the things that always sticks out about Sinead to me is no question was a stupid question. I know going into these things it can be so daunting, but I was never made to feel like any question was silly. So she's here to answer all the questions that basically anyone's afraid to ask, from where to start, what documents you need, to all the little things that you need to watch out for along the way. We're covering all the schemes, the fees, the myths. She actually gave me a good myth buster there that I've definitely told people, you can't have that. No, Sinead myth busted it for us. Credit score panics, basically everything, the whole kit and caboodle Sinead's going to cover for us today. So if you're saving, thinking about buying, or just want to feel like you're doing something to move in the right direction, this episode is definitely for you. And a big massive thank you to Finance Solution for sponsoring this portion of the episode. Okay, so Sinead, start us off gently now. So for anyone whose eyes have ever glazed over the word mortgage or thought about it, like even thought of the M in the word mortgage, tell us about what you do and how you can help.
Yeah, absolutely. So I suppose a mortgage broker essentially is a financial advisor that is going to navigate a client through the mortgage process. Okay, so as you know, the mortgage is going to be your biggest financial commitment you'll ever make in your life. So it's so important to have someone fighting in your corner, okay? And a mortgage broker can do that for you from start to finish, from the initial call in terms of documentation required right up until you get your keys. So 100% broker is best.
Is everything.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Did you always think you'd get into this, or what was your
Absolutely
background?
not.
You're like, Jesus, no.
I've worked in a bank, so I'm actually coming up to my 7th year work anniversary in Finance Solutions. But previous to that, I worked in many different credit institutions as a mortgage advisor. So I've been everything from a bank teller right up to a mortgage advisor, and then rolled in to be a mortgage broker, and I absolutely love it.
Do you?
Yeah, I really, really do.
Like,
yeah.
I'd say you feel so, well, you obviously are so involved in everyone's process, literally from the beginning until they get their keys.
Absolutely. It's such a rewarding job, being able to help someone with the biggest financial commitment, to take some of that stress away in like the most daunting market ever in terms of the housing market today. So yeah, it's just amazing being right up with them through their journey. Like I could deal with a client for maybe 6 months who are very lucky. I could deal with some clients this year, 3 and 4 years,
really?
Going through that process, renewing.
Just depends.
Yeah, absolutely depends, on the client. So definitely it's amazing.
The whole way through, you really are. So we all know currently that there is a housing crisis and it's such a big issue. We know that definitely. But is there hope for people out there who are wanting to buy a home of their own?
There absolutely is. And like what I would say to that is control what you can, and what you can control is educating yourself yourself in terms of your options. And that's what the broker is going to do for you, okay? So essentially what I do is I try break it down in 5 simple steps to a client, whether it's the initial call or whether maybe they're going through the process with me at the moment. So step number 1 is an income. You have to have an income, and that's your borrowing power, okay? But that can be many different things. You could be permanently employed. You could be on a fixed term contract, an agency contract. You know, there's many different lenders' requirements around that in terms of documentation. Then there's the self-employed piece. So maybe you are sole trader in a partnership or even limited company. So again, it can be quite daunting in terms of the documentation required, the timeline you have to be in those roles. So I'll break
down.
They
all have different things, like
Absolutely.
for instance, if you're a limited company or a sole trader, self-employed, you could have this certain amount of kind of income that you have to prove. Whereas if you're in an employed
permanent
position, kind of like the time that you need to prove your income is a lot less, or it could be more, or
like
it depends.
For a sole trader, typically it's 2 years. So it's 2 years performance of the business, okay? So essentially with a sole trader, it's all about the returns, okay? But with limited company, it can be a little bit different because there are some lenders that will work off the accounts. So, you know, when it comes to director's numeration, net profit depreciation, not to get too technical, but essentially that's what we can do as the broker, differentiate, you know, essentially what? You know, which lenders will take what and what the best option is. But typically for a self-employed individual, it would be the minimum 2 year mark. Okay. So income, step number 1. Number 2, it's all about repayment ability. So over that 6 month stretch, how you've demonstrated you can afford the proposed mortgage repayment. Okay. So for a first time buyer, what you're looking at is typically rent, you know, savings would be the obvious ones, but there is other ways to show it. And again, the broker will identify this straight away. Maybe it's a loan that's discontinuing, you know, AVCs, voluntary pension contribution, savings, schemes through work. So there's many different ways. So that's why a good broker would step in and identify that with you and what you need to do. So again, whether that's the initial call 6 months ahead of time, or, you know, we're just breaking that down on the call itself. Okay. Number 3 is deposit. So you have to have a minimum 10% deposit, but also budget for your fees. So people forget there is extra fees in buying a property.
You think 10 is just, you can manage that. And then all these add-ons, you're going,
I know. So essentially what you want to budget for here, your legal fee, 2,500 kind of minimum. That's your professional fee to your solicitor. You will have stamp duty. So solicitor will look after that transaction. It's 1% of the purchase price for properties under $1 million. And then essentially, with new builds, that will be less VAT as well. But again, the solicitor will calculate and identify that for you. But outside of that, you know, things that people don't think of is valuation. So an independent valuer has to go out from your lender to value the property. So, you know, you're looking at about €200 cap there for most lenders. And then maybe if you're buying secondhand, you want to get a structural survey. It's really important that you know, protect yourself. Okay,
make sure the house is still standing when you get the keys.
Exactly. So it's really, really important, and that can be expensive.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So, you know, to identify that at the beginning and have that budgeted. Okay, but the deposit typically would be life savings being the obvious one. If you're lucky enough to get a family gift, ideally,
I couldn't believe that
be
was
a blood
something
relative.
that was asked. Was this a family gift? I was about to say, I bloody wish. Are you mad?
I know.
But you would get some people who'd say, parents gave it.
Yeah, unfortunately in today's market with house prices, like we've ideally the lender would look for it to be a blood relative, but from time to time there can be different. I suppose it can be gifted from a friend, but it depends on the lender's credit policy.
Okay.
So a good broker will identify that again with you at the start of the process. The other one would be help to buy. So that would be obviously for a new build only, or perhaps you're doing a self build. So essentially that's a tax rebate of your income and dirt tax that you can use towards your deposit. Okay, and you can find that out by going on your My Revenue account and literally applying as a group if it's a joint application, or as an individual for a solo application, just to see what you qualify for.
And they'll come back and either tell you.
Exactly.
And is that, don't they say it's up to, is it up to
4 years? So it's 4 years, the last 4 years income and dirt tax back to you.
So they do the kind of maths on that and see like.
Exactly, it's about tax paid, but it's capped at €30,000. So that is the minimum, the maximum you will be able to get back. But it will be dependent on you and your tax paid.
Yeah, because I think I've even heard myself, I just convinced myself that I was like even just talking about the schemes before, I remember I was like, oh yeah, sure, I get 30 grand off the government.
Yeah.
No, they would never be
not
so
for second
nice.
hand.
But I thought it was also like, I thought it was 30 was the amount, but it's up to that. You could
Correct.
get 15, you could get
Absolutely. It's
10.
it's all about the
it all
tax paid
depends. Okay.
in terms of the individuals themselves. So that would be the deposit part. Then we have statements. So 6-month statements for all active accounts.
fun part.
It's
Woohoo!
everything, okay? So you have to include your Revolut, your N26, your bulk
Everything.
account, everything. So what they're looking for here when the underwriter gets the application, like what I break it down is that the accounts are not under financial stress, okay? And what I mean by that is you're meeting your current commitments, your standing orders, your direct debits. If you do have revolving credit facilities like overdrafts or credit cards, that's okay. But, that you're not overly reliant on them for living expenses.
Yeah,
okay?
for small things.
Exactly. That's what's important, that, you're managing them correctly. But essentially that's what they're looking through in the statements. Obvious red flags will be the unpaids, unauthorized, maybe going into an unauthorized overdraft or even gambling. Okay?
Yeah, I
so
wanted
keep
to
it out
ask,
of the accounts.
I wanted to
ideally.
ask you about that. Is it true? Because I've definitely heard myself over the years. Is it true that if you have like a gambling account on your phone, or like you're signed up to a gambling account, there's no chance of you getting a mortgage?
That is not true.
It's not true.
No,
You
it is not
debunked it for
true.
us.
It is not true. But essentially, like at the end of the day, the lender's looking to see, that you're not overly
You're lashing
expending
into it
yourself.
every-
Exactly.
yeah,
Yeah.
every
So,
day.
for example, say Cheltenham's coming up, they're going to see, around that time that there was some maybe payments made out to Paddy Power, Betfair, whatever it may be. But like if you're consistently doing that every single paycheck and no money's coming back in, that's a problem. So ideally, what I would say is keep it out of the account.
Yeah,
It's
just
6
don't.
months.
Yeah.
Just maybe make a little cash bet if you really need to, just
Keep-
for that
keep them
period.
as clean as you can for the 6 months, but like don't kind of do anything that if you do get approved after the 6 months, you're just completely in the shits. Then like you're
Just keep it out.
you haven't a clue. Yeah. Okay.
And the last piece would be the credit history. So step number 5. So essentially, ideally, you have a clean credit history. How you can actually find this out yourself, you go to centrecreditregister.ie and you can run a report yourself if you're uncomfortable or worried, I should say, in terms of what it might show up. And even if you're worried or can't maybe read through the report, I would have many clients that I would give them the website, they get the report, and then I will go through it with them, okay, just to kind of highlight if there was anything. So ideally there's nothing, no missed payments on loans, credit cards, but the CCR will include finance as well. So if you've got a phone, some furniture, you have to remember that as well. But yeah, like ideally, it's completely clean, but there are scenarios where maybe there was a blip. It could have been a student credit card, you could have moved address, maybe
Something from years ago.
there could be, yeah.
Okay.
So it's really important. A good broker will kind of tell you your options. There could be options quicker than you think. Okay. And that's
It's not all doom and gloom.
exactly
Right.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like that. It doesn't see, guys, it's not that scary if Sinead's around, I swear. What are the first kind of practical things that someone should do to prepare for a mortgage? So like I know we talked through there like the 5 things that you need. But if somebody, say, for instance, now is listening and wants to apply this time next year.
Yeah, so I definitely say call us, okay?
Yeah.
So essentially we would have a lot of clients in different stages, okay? So initially if you would like a consultation, we can do a direct call, whether it be 5 minutes or you want to do a quick Teams call, okay? So being prepared, ideally 6 months prior to applying, if you just want to get kind of the minimal breakdown, I suppose, of, what's required, you can kind of highlight what your income is over the phone. We can give you an idea of your borrowing power based on that, even the monthly repayment that you need to demonstrate on that. So then you can get working on that.
You'll know where to go.
Definitely reaching out to us just 6 months prior, just even for an initial call. There's no silly questions.
No, I've learned that, guys. I swear there actually really isn't. So another question for anybody listening that I think you will be a massive help on. Should you have a dedicated mortgage saving account or a saving into your current account a big no-no? Like, should you keep them all very separate?
Yeah, so I suppose it depends on the individual. I would have a lot of clients that do save into a current account, and that's absolutely fine, okay? However, it can be hard to differentiate sometimes, okay? So essentially the way an underwriter would review that would be they'd be looking at the balance before you last got paid, rewind 6 months, the balance before you last got paid.
Okay.
So for an individual that is super organised and is checking that credit balance every month and making sure it's incrementally building, that's fine. But I think the easiest way and the cleanest way would be having that separate account. So literally getting paid, I transfer my standing order or I transfer manually my mortgage demonstration demonstration. Okay,
Yeah.
so don't be overextending yourself, like throwing your full salary in and then taking it back. Like what I would say is, you know, when you, I suppose, have the initial call with us, we're kind of demonstrating what that monthly repayment should be based on your target level. So essentially, that's all you need to show. Do you know what I mean? And if you do have some surplus, you can transfer it at the end of the month as well. Okay,
Yeah.
but ideally, in my opinion, the cleanest way and the most organised way for you as well, because
Keep
you
it
have
separate.
that separate into an online saver, mortgage saver, whatever it may be. It could be an online account, Revolut, Bunk, whatever it is. But you see it building there, and you know, do you know what? I'm not touching that.
Yeah.
That's my mortgage
Makes you
demonstration.
not want to touch it. Like,
Yeah.
no, don't go near it. It
Yeah.
also means then if you like are required to give statements of that account, they're a lot just fresher looking. Like it's just
Exactly.
It's just things going in.
Yeah.
You see nothing coming out. It's
Exactly.
brilliant. It looks lovely.
Exactly. Where 1 month maybe in your current account you had extra expenses in terms of
Something
tax,
happened.
insurance, weddings,
Yeah.
Christmas coming up. Do you
Yeah.
know, there's things like that, and you have to be really mindful in terms of, you know, and the lender will look at rationale. But I just think sometimes in the current account it can get a little bit messy.
To kind of find it and figure it out. How important is credit history?
It is super important. Yeah.
Do we have that in Ireland? Do you know the way in America we see all these shows that they're
Credit
all on
scores and all
what's your
that.
credit score? I don't
Yeah.
fucking know. I haven't a clue. What do you mean? Like,
we're not measured on credit score. It's measured on credit history. So that's your central credit register report,
Okay.
CCR report. So essentially you can run your own by going, it's a free request, centralcreditregister.ie. You know, it'll run everything from loans, overdrafts, credit cards, and any kind of finance that you may had over the years.
Klarna.
So it'll pick up
Anyone
yes,
flat out on
Home,
Klarna.
Klarna, all of those lovely ones from the Black Friday that you might have caught on to. So be careful.
Yeah.
But it definitely is really important. Ideally, you know, you are completely clean in the best case scenario, but there are scenarios where you may have had a blip, and there's certain lenders' criteria that could look at it maybe after 24 months, even quicker. But, you know, a good broker will identify that for you, help you and guide you through that, whether it's putting a plan in place or maybe, you know, you're ready to rock sooner based on the rationale of what happened. Do you know what I mean? 'Cause-
So there are some banks out there who will say, right, you're human.
yeah,
Stuff
absolutely.
happens,
Like
like
everything
we
else
can-
could be really strong.
Yeah, so they
Yeah.
might say, okay, this thing that happened a certain amount of time ago, depending on the bank, they might say,
Yeah, absolutely. Like I'll
can
give you
deal with you.
a real life experience, I suppose, of a client that I had this year. Essentially, they moved address, and in terms of credit cards, they charge you lovely stamp duty. I think it's about €30 in about April, I think, every year. So essentially, they moved address but closed down the card, but didn't realise in terms of when they closed it down, the pay run ran over with the stamp duty. So it continued to be active and interest accrued on that stamp duty. So when the client became aware, obviously cleared, closed straight away. But everything else in the application was super, super strong.
Yeah.
You know, sustainability of income and the repayment ability. So I was able to provide rationale that, you know, this is not normal for this client. It's very clear from the CCR report that you can see, you know, mistake happened. You know, here's the rationale. But, you know, it's clearly out of the ordinary for that client. So that's where, you know, a good broker will
step
argue,
in.
I will say, or
Yeah.
present the case correctly, you know, for you. You know?
like, I even think of stuff like this, if you were to try and do it on your own,
Yeah.
you wouldn't know any of that. Like, you
Exactly.
wouldn't- what do you do? If
Yeah.
that comes back, you go, right, well, I haven't any hope.
Exactly.
Nothing that I can do.
I know, yeah.
And I say to anytime anyone has ever asked me about like how to get the mortgage and stuff, Sinead just did it all. What do you mean? I didn't get it. Sinead got it. I didn't send one email. What are you talking about? No, absolutely. I just had Sinead on speed dial for all the questions I had. What does this mean? Another one I have for you. Does rent count as paying something back? So if there's people out there now who are listening and they are currently renting somewhere, is that something that you can put forward for to apply for a mortgage and say, look, I'm able to pay this back a month? Does that count, or is it because you're living?
It absolutely does.
It
No, it
counts?
100% does. And,
Okay.
you know, if people's rent are more than their mortgage
Oh,
repayments will be, you know,
100%, yeah.
99% of the time. So 100% rent will be ideally, and even if you're living with relatives, like maybe you're renting from mum, dad, sibling, whatever
Yeah.
it may be, ideally it goes through the accounts.
Okay.
And I understand that there is certain landlords and situations where they just want cash.
Cash,
Okay.
yeah.
So what I would say to that is, try withdraw it on the exact same date every single month from the account, and then correspond it with maybe rental receipts, quick initial rental receipt corresponding to the date from the landlord, and a tenancy agreement. So it's all about supporting the transaction
so
itself.
You'll be able to then prove like, no,
Exactly.
it's my rent.
Like
even if you want it in cash, but like here's the proof that it is genuinely for my rent.
So ideally, because think about it, when you have your rent, you're going to have the same transaction leaving, whether it's a standing order or whatever, every single month. So if you withdraw the cash on the same day, and we have the paperwork, the receipt to support the transaction and the tenancy agreement, it's not the client's fault. The landlord wants it in cash, but unfortunately it's the times we are. So that's definitely a good way to present that.
Everything has to be kind of like proven, essentially.
Exactly.
Yeah. Sorry, like you were saying, if somebody is renting off mum or dad, if you are transferring that into mum's account, same date every month, that counts as
it absolutely
rent.
does.
They're not a registered landlord. They're literally just my mother. But like, sending them money each month still does count.
Once the transaction is super clear on the account and it's consistent every single month, once salary comes in, absolutely, most lenders will take that. Yeah, for sure.
So that's another thing you can add on to
Take
the
off
list.
The list.
There.
Yeah,
I like that one. What are some things that you see over all these years being a mortgage broker? The biggest things that you see people struggling to get a mortgage? Like, what's the main kind of thing that you see come up?
I suppose it kind of depends. Like when people initially come to me, it might be, the deposit part, because obviously a deposit, 10% is a lot, in terms of today's housing prices and stuff like that. So, guiding clients through their options on that. Okay, well, how do I raise a deposit? What can I use? Because some people, when they come to me, they don't realise they can avail of a gift if it is available to them, or the schemes available to them. So the likes of the Help to Buy, going for a new build, what that entails. So breaking that down for a client, I think deposit definitely is a big one. So whether, I'm speaking to them, like I said, 6 months or 12 months prior, guiding them through how to build that, you know, that's definitely a big one.
At Tesco, we're delighted to announce our brand new Salthill Express store is now open, where the quality you've come to expect from us is now just down the road. Pick up some great value essentials, along with some high-quality meats and fresh fruit and veg, plus some tasty treats from our in-house bakery, serving you up freshly baked goodness. Tesco. Every little helps.
This Christmas, get ready for something truly magical as Yulefest Kilkenny proudly presents the Irish debut of Starlight by Lux Morales, a 360-degree immersive light and sound show, bringing you on a powerful journey into the heart of Christmas. For 8 spectacular nights from December 14th to 21st, the show will transform St. Canice's Cathedral into a breathtaking immersive world of sound and light. This is a Christmas event not to be missed. Tickets are selling fast, so get yours now at yulefestkilkenny.ie.
But like you were even saying earlier, like anything else that comes up that like might be a little bit of an issue, there's ways around things. It isn't the end of the world.
100%.
And like personally, even for me, there was little things that we might have had to go, oops, let's fix this. It's not the end of the world. There is little ways around things, but that deposit is the most final, like, you can't get that down by any amount. So it probably is the one thing that I'd say people struggle with, is to save that. Everything else is kind of, you're just tracking yourself for a certain amount of months.
It's ticking the box.
Yeah.
In knowing what to do.
Yeah. So I can imagine that it is probably the deposit that a lot of people would definitely struggle with. We touched on there a little bit about the schemes, and I know not to go into too much detail because the schemes obviously depend on people personally and like what they're buying, what they're going for, who they're buying with, all that yada yada. But can you tell us a little bit about these current schemes that are available?
Yeah, absolutely. So essentially with the new build, we've touched on Help to Buy. Okay, so you're going on your My Revenue. It can be used part of your deposit. It's up to €30,000 tax back to you. But there is certain criteria around that. So just to kind of highlight that, it has to be minimum 70% loan to value. Okay, and properties not over 500,000. So in Dublin, that's quite hard. So you have your Help to Buy, and then you have some government design schemes such as the First Home Scheme. So the First Home Scheme was designed to bridge the gap in funding. Okay, so again, you still get your maximum approval from the bank. So within your central bank rule, that would be 4 times multiple ideally, and then plus your deposit and your fees separately, which you would have anyway. The first home scheme then is basically a loan to fund the gap. Okay, but there is certain criteria in terms of there's property price ceilings per county. You know, it has to be completed through a participating lender. So coming through to the broker, essentially they're breaking that down for you in terms of your options. What lenders do I have an option with here? Do you know?
Okay.
So another one will be the vacant home grant. So essentially this is for vacant and derelict properties. So basically you can get a grant between 50,000 and 70,000 for works on the property. But what I will say is the bank will want to see that you have the funds readily available to do the works, and then it's basically a reimbursement. So again, speak to your broker about your proposal. They are not. No,
they're definitely not giving it to you. Absolutely not. I know there's a lot of listeners that we have who live in the likes of Australia and Dubai and just
the glam life.
Glam life abroad in general. Like they've moved away for a couple of years, but they do want to come home at one point and settle down in Ireland. When they come back to Ireland eventually, are they just starting completely fresh? Can they use what they've built up in other countries as kind of proof? How does that kind of thing work?
Yeah, absolutely. So I would deal with a lot of clients, you know, I would have a lot of clients in Singapore, the US, Australia. So essentially they can secure a mortgage while they still live there if they want. Okay, we are limited on options, but it is
You'll
possible.
Have everyone from Australia, aren't you?
yeah.
Give us a mortgage.
But it 100% is possible. You know, we're limited to 1 or 2 lenders because it depends on certain things. Okay, so if you're planning on purchasing before you get home, and you know what, my plan is kind of a 3 to 5 year plan in terms of coming home, essentially that limits us to 1 lender. Okay, and there's specific criteria. For example, you would have to have a 30% deposit.
Wow.
But you could still secure residential rates. Okay, but what you'd have to do is prove that you can afford that mortgage while continuing your lifestyle. You know what I mean, your rent and all of that, wherever you live. And then there's another lender basically that launched an FX product only recently. So essentially they will consider the income, but you have to have a return to work date. So that can be difficult, you know, in terms of what they don't know when they're coming back.
So you have to prove to them like, I'm coming back and I'll pick back up work at this time.
Exactly. So like you would have your contract secured. Do you know what I mean? So, you know, that can be a little bit more difficult. But I suppose for clients that maybe work in big companies, like that companies are based here, like Google, Airbnb, that are actually coming back to secure within the Irish companies base, Dublin bases. So that can be a little bit more seamless. But but it is possible. Do you know?
It's not a big fat no.
No, like I would deal with a lot of clients all over for sure.
I don't know why, but I would have thought in my head, like, you come back, you have to start from scratch again. Back in Ireland. No, you can use what you've had.
You absolutely can. Now, we're limited on options. So they might be the most cheapest lender on the market that we can offer you, but it 100% is an option because a lot of people like that, maybe the dream property has come up within the location they want or near home. Okay, that's the key, like of, okay, well, how do I do this? There is an option for you, but, you know, there's a little bit more required to get there. You know?
Oh, wow. I wanted to touch on as well, this might be a bit of a Debbie Downer situation. Sales falling through. What does this, like, what would you see cropping up a lot if you saw that happening to people? Yeah,
like, unfortunately, it happens quite a bit. Like, the main thing with secondhand would be surveys. Okay, so you getting your structural survey done and, you know, things aren't what they seem. So it's important having, you know, a good surveyor, you know, that you trust as well. Like, we partner with a certain surveyor and certain solicitor because we trust them in the process. So that happens quite a bit, unfortunately, you know, whether it be pyrite or there's an extension that there was never planning for that's going to cause ructions down the line. Asbestos, all the red flags. So that can come up quite a bit. In terms of the new builds, it might be, I suppose, a couple of scenarios I've had would patience because it's not being built within the time frame they say. So the clients may have not paid the contract's deposit and they pull back and hopefully they find, you know, they do find properties. You know, unfortunately, patience is key in this housing market.
Don't I know? Jesus. So if you're at that stage that you have your deposit, you're ready to apply, what are the like specific documents that you need to kind of come up with?
Yeah, brilliant question. So I suppose it depends on the type of employment again. So a permanent employee, typically we would provide a salary cert template for your employer to complete. Most lenders will require 3 months pay slips. Okay, so the 3 months most recent pay slips, whether that's weekly, fortnightly or monthly, 3 months will ideally cover off every lender. Employment detail summary. So this is your statement of earnings, typically measures from January to December, and you can capture that off your My Revenue. I would always get a client to upload maybe the last 3 years just to show the employment history on that and the level of earnings over that period. But just last year's is the minimum required. So there'll be 2024 as of today, and then your 6 months worth of all of your active accounts. Okay, so make sure to include your Revolut, any of those hidden ones. But any activity they see essentially, through those accounts, if there is other statements, they're just going to request it. So you're just delaying it for yourself.
Are you nearly best off having extra information ready in case they come asking for it, kind of thing?
Yeah, absolutely. Like I'd always kind of say on the initial call, like, this is the accounts they're going to request. You know what I mean? So
and some people go,
yeah.
oh,
yeah, absolutely. And then I suppose, AML as well is your proof of identity and proof of address. So that can be covered off. Passport, driving license for your ID. Proof of address is probably already covered off in your employment detail summary or your statement. So it's just another document, do you know what I mean, that you've already provided. So that would be kind of typical for a permanent employee. For the self-employed piece, it's a little bit more document heavy, as you know. Yes. But to, I suppose, give you a quick overview, it's 2 years of your personal tax return. So that's your notice of assessment, chapter 4 and form 11. Your accountant can probably provide, if you do your own tax return, you can capture on your Ross account. And then the 2 years of signed accounts. Okay, so that's a certified account signed off by the accountant for your year end for the most recent 2 years. And normally they'll look for an accountant letter. Okay, so a tax clearance cert won't just do the lender. Okay, so a quick letter from the accountant confirming tax affairs are up to date. And it depends. There could be specific wording dependent on
who
the individual itself. So that's where the broker would step in and advise. But that would be typically kind of, your starting documents to get to that approval in principle. Yeah.
And even I feel like anyone listening, if they're thinking like, oh God, where do I even begin to get all that? You tell everyone where it is. Even from going through the whole process with yourself, obviously, the online, what's it called? Online portal.
The online portal that we had. Everything. Yeah, you found it good. Yeah.
Oh, handy dandy.
Great. Yeah.
You literally log in. Yeah. There's a little message from Sinead saying, hey, will you just upload this? Bing, bang, bosh in the account. Yeah. Couldn't have been easier. It's not all kerfuffle and finding things and you're just uploading them.
Yeah.
And you get a tick or you get an X if you didn't get it right.
Visually, I think it's important for the client to see as well.
Yeah.
You're seeing what what you're uploading and what's required, and it's in an organised way, I think.
No, it is. It is. It's very satisfying to look at it when you
tick,
see
tick, tick when it's complete.
Your green ticks, you were good. And once you finally get approved, what actually happens next? Because I know there is a certain timeline on things, isn't there?
Absolutely.
So once you get that call, I bawled crying when you rang me that day, sobbing. But once you
I think it was my birthday. I was like, oh my God, you're going to make me cry.
But once you get that initial call to say, yep, you have someone or a lender or whatever, you're approved.
Yeah.
Then what happens? Is it a big fat rush to go and buy the first thing you see? Or should you always be looking in the background and kind of have things set there for when you get that call to put something down?
I suppose I always say, to a client not to stress if it doesn't happen within the time frame, that you have. Okay. So depending on the lender you choose depends on the time frame. I would have lenders that work off 6 months, but I also have lenders that work off 12 months. Okay. But it's no big deal. AIPs can expire all the time. It's just a matter of updating documents, which I know can be a pain, but remember, once you get the documents, I'm taking over. Do you know what I mean? You just get me the documents and I'm listening for you. I'll sort the approval again. What's really important when you secure your approval in principle, continue saving, continue demonstrating, because if you don't, that can have impact on me securing you approval again. So that's really important to continue as you are.
Once you get approved, it's not necessarily grand. You can go live a lavish life now. Yeah, it doesn't,
please don't.
It doesn't work like that. You have to still, in case you don't know what's going to happen.
You don't know what's going to happen. But essentially within that time frame, ideally you find a property and we move to the next stage, which is loan offer. So that's the binding contract essentially that you will sign in conjunction with the contract of sale, and that's all done with your solicitor, and they guide you through that process. But 100%, just continue demonstrating that proven repayment ability and you will have absolutely no problems.
Yeah. Is it usually 6 months? That I know you said there that some banks do give the 12, but is it usually the 6?
Yeah, typically 6 months. And even the lenders that give the 12, even though they say it's wonderful, they'll look for some sort of updated documents anyway. So,
do they?
Yeah.
So it isn't necessarily always that. And finally, if you could offer one piece of advice to someone looking to start their mortgage journey, what would it be? Ring me.
Ring me. Yes. Ring us at Finance Solutions.
Yeah.
I suppose, like, just to touch on Finance Solutions, obviously I'm 7 years there now. I love my job. Like, why use us? Do you know?
Yeah.
I will say there is no fee for
I was just about to say,
service.
I didn't know whether to just jump in and be like, lads, it's free. Like, what? Hello?
I know.
Why aren't we all using this?
And I think people get confused and a bit wary on brokers because, what's the catch? Do you know what I mean? But we work purely off referral business. Go to our Google reviews, see it. You know, you were referred to me by a friend. So do you know what I mean? So essentially, there's absolutely no charges for our service from start to finish. We do everything for you, from the initial call, all the documentation, guiding you through that process, all the insurances associated with your mortgage. You know, we're mortgage specialists. We can look after your protection, your house insurance. We guide you through what's required in that, okay? And we work with all major lenders on the market, so you're going to get all of your options in one meeting, whereas you're going to visit all of your banks.
All the banks individually.
Yeah, thinking, my AIB branch will do everything for me. But that may not, be the best deal for you. Do you know? And essentially, the broker is in your corner, and we're fighting for you. You know, all the time. So I believe broker is best. Obviously, Finance Solutions are the best, but I do believe broker is best. In everyone's scenario.
I think I can genuinely vouch for that. I've said before, lads, I didn't send one email. I didn't have to ring any scary banks and talk big words. And every time I spoke to Sinead, I was like, Sinead, dull everything down for me like I'm 6 years of age. Like, just talk to me in small words, and like you said to me through the whole process, no question was a stupid question. And there definitely was ones where I've been like, hey, stupid question. You're like, no, this is what
no, it's not.
You never made me feel stupid about anything. Even the smallest amount of questions, nothing was silly, nothing was stupid, everything was explained. And like I said, I didn't have to talk to one scary bank man.
Okay, good.
Perfect. It worked a charm.
It's the biggest financial commitment you're ever going to make. So if I can take that little bit of stress away, and guiding you through the process, the lenders, even people to trust in the process, whether it be surveyors, solicitors, that's going to, hopefully make your experience 100 times better than you trying to go differentiate.
No, it definitely 100% did. $1,000,000%. So if anybody is looking to get in touch with yourself, Sinead at Finance Solutions,
Sinead at FinanceSolutions.ie, or you can call our office anytime. We'll do a live transfer we've a team of over 70 and continuing to grow.
Wow.
Massive. When I joined the company, I think there was 10 of us.
Really?
Yeah. So we've massively grown. Okay. We've our lovely new offices over in Dockland Central. So you can call us anytime, 01610 8884. You can do an inquiry on the website. Broker will be straight back to you. We do have an Instagram page. We have a Finance Solutions Instagram page, or we have the Mortgage Guy, headed up by my colleague Owen. I'm sure you've seen his face everywhere. So essentially, that Instagram page has lots of hints and tips. He does a Sunday roundup every Sunday in terms of mortgage news. So definitely give us a follow, because it's important that you keep yourselves, updated with information. So essentially, if you're not ready, at least you're getting all the latest mortgage news. Bit
of information on it and whatnot. Yeah. Oh, fabulous. Well, I can't wait to hear about everybody's mortgage approval now. And they'll be saying, well, I went to Sinead and Finance Solutions. So, Sinead, thank you so much for coming on today.
Me.
And I know there's going to be so many people listening who found this massively beneficial. So thank you so much.
Delighted.
For taking the time.
Thanks a million.
Thank you. So again, a big massive thank you to Sinead and Finance Solutions for sponsoring that portion of the episode. Massively appreciated. And I know that a lot of people listening out there are going to find that portion so beneficial. So let's move on to Red Flag Radar. Red Flag Radar number 1. Whenever we're out for dinner and go to order, he always jumps in first and orders for himself. I don't know why, but it drives me mad. What happened to ladies first? Arsehole. Maybe he's starving on him. He just orders for himself. I don't like that. Then again now, I like to discuss what we're going to order together, because there always has to be a bit of, you get that and I'll try it. I'll get this and we can share. There always has to be a little bit of that. But I like when Graham just orders then. He knows what we're getting off both things. And I'm like, can you do the talking? I'm afraid of people. kind of thing. But the fact that this fella is just ordering for himself, I'd have to say something to him. I wonder, is that the only case? Like, I wonder, does he hold the door open for you?
And you know, when you're in a restaurant, mostly, if they come over to take your order, they usually look to the lady
They
first.
do, don't they?
Yeah. So
and what
he's
would the
jumping-
lady like? Yeah.
He's jumping in over that. Like,
To get his own order in first. The food's going nowhere, pal. It's in the kitchen. Like, no need to jump ahead of that. What do you mean? I'd have to say something would drive me mad. That's something that like will nitpick at you for so long, and then one day you're going to explode in the restaurant. You're going to lose the head with them. Like, you will. I'd have to say something. I don't know if it's necessarily, I'd say it was, I'd call it red if any of the other things he wasn't doing. Like, I love a door being held open for me.
yeah. And is it just a
petite.
manners thing that he wasn't
Yeah.
taught?
He wasn't taught, you let the lady go first. Like, it was just ladies first. But I feel like everybody knows that that's just a saying, isn't it?
You would
Is
hope.
it? Yeah, I'd hope. I'll give him the benefit of the doubt this time because I'm just feeling in a good mood and I just want to say benefit of the doubt. So, but I'd say it to him. I'm like, I hate the way you jump in front of me and order your own thing then. You rude little, I can't say the word, but yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Not calling it fully red, but we call it burnt orange today.
Yeah.
Burnt orange, okay. The next one then is his ex-girlfriend's mom texted him the other day to pop up for his Christmas present and he said he's going to go. They were together last Christmas, but still feels a bit weird. No, red. I'm seething with the redness. Are you mad? What? So his ex-girlfriend's mom. Well, I think she's in the wrong firstly as well.
Yeah.
Like, I get some people are able to move on and it's all, you know, obviously they don't have bad blood towards each other, but like, I think there's like boundaries that, you know, to pop up for your Christmas present. Do you really need your link set, love? Like, no. Do you know what I mean?
Is there any relationship that was that close that
A year later, you still need to go back for your Christmas present. Oh,
maybe she got him something lovely?
unless it was something that the girlfriend could be involved with as well. I'd be like, go on up and get that offer there, will you?
Nice voucher for a meal.
Yeah, but that'd be nice, you know. I don't know. I do understand. Okay, they probably are on grand terms. It ended okay. Like, or I wonder how him and his ex are. Like what if him and the ex hate each other and it's the mom just, maybe the mom fancies him. Oh, maybe it'll get, yeah. Maybe it'll start getting mad weird then.
Or is he just being overly polite?
How do you say no? Like, how do you say
no?
piss off, it's Christmas, don't want my gift?
Thanks a mil, but no.
Yeah, like, how do you say that? We're so Irish, aren't we? We're so Irish. We would get a meal, hate it, and not complain in the restaurant. I know we would. It's just such an Irish thing to just...
Maybe if I was in that situation, I'd be like to my mum, oh, will you pop into Teresa over there? Because she has something for me.
Yeah, knock into her there and get the brezzy.
Yeah.
And then the mom's devastated that you didn't arrive up and she's in her Santy lingerie at the door. Imagine the dramatics of it. I don't know. I just think, obviously, if this girlfriend is uncomfortable with it, like, you need to voice that to him. Just be like, that's a little bit weird. Just ask him how he would feel if the tables were turned and your ex's mom was saying, pop into the house.
Yeah.
Like, I get we can all live civilly together, but I think there needs to be like a boundary thing. There needs to be something where it's like, right.
And imagine you turned up and it was just like a box of celebrations.
I'd be fucking fuming.
And
Keep them.
Yeah, it was an intervention to get you
Or Quality Street, even worse. Imagine, yeah. Bribed with a thing at Quality Street. Get away from me. Yeah, I think again, see, it's all benefit of the doubt. I was going to say, well, I did say red at the very beginning. I don't like the way he's just so willing to be like, right, I'm going to go. If he'd have come to her and been like, come here, Teresa's after texting. I love the way that
don't know where Teresa came
I was going to say, is that your mom's name or something? No.
I don't know anyone called Teresa.
Yeah, I was going to, if he'd have come to you and said, Teresa's after texting, she wants to pop up. Like, if he'd have come to you and talked to you about that first, instead of just saying, like, going up to Teresa's. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you know? I think just tell him how weird you feel. You
Maybe
would.
she can go with him.
And meet the ex's mom.
Just be in the car. Oh, sorry.
Like that in the car window. Imagine. Yeah, I don't know. Bit weird. Like, it's the type of situation there's just no need for.
Yeah.
No need. So it's like, yeah, you can go absolutely berserk, but like, it's not really his fault then either, is it?
No.
I don't know. I don't think he should go. I think he should politely decline
Yeah.
the gift.
And it doesn't matter if he pisses them off, declining
cares?
because they're not in his life anymore.
No, yeah. Keep the quality street, Teresa. We don't need it. Okay. And then the last one we have then is, I've been casually seeing a boy for the last 6 weeks and he still has Hinge on his phone. Bad sign. 6 weeks, bad sign.
It's early days.
Isn't it? Are you in the position where you can say, delete that off your phone? Like, it is very early. Like,
And just because it's on his phone doesn't mean he's using it.
true. It could just be there because, I don't know, he's forgotten to delete it, or it doesn't necessarily mean he's like actively using it, kind of thing.
Yeah.
I don't think it's a bad sign. I think, see how it goes. I'll give him an orange flag again. Everyone's orange these days. No one's a red flag radar anymore. I think see how it goes. Like, 6 weeks is still quite early.
It's one of those things you kind of have to have that awful "what are we" conversation before you can ask them to delete
To
their app.
delete it, yeah. Maybe you have to wait a bit, but you don't want that like niggling at the back of your head kind of thing, or like, I don't know. Is it one of those things where down the line you'll say, fuck, I wish I said that at the start when I saw it, but then you don't want to come across too like,
Yeah. I wonder, did they meet on Hinge?
if they met on Hinge,
Might be saving their old messages.
oh, see, it could be something lovely for them. We just love everyone. We just give everyone the benefit of the doubt. I think hang on another little while. I think go to 12 weeks.
Yeah.
You have to know by then if is there a thing or not. That's
Yeah.
what's 6, 8, 4, 8,
3
12.
months.
That's 3 months. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. The 3 month mark is usually the mark where both parties know where they stand, kind of thing.
You'd be asking to be your girlfriend or whatever at
Yeah.
that point.
So I think keep an eye. Don't be overly nosy, but keep an eye and keep an ear out for any Hinge signals. Does Hinge have like a specific ring-a-ling-a-ling, I wonder? Surely.
I don't know.
Probably does. So maybe keep an eye for that. But I don't think bring it up just yet. Like you said yourself, you've been casually seeing him. So it kind of doesn't feel like you can step in and be like, why the hell is that on your phone?
Yeah. It is very early.
Isn't it? It's still early days.
Casually.
Yeah, for casually.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think mind yourself on that one. So that's it from me and Aoife today, guys. Lads, you just have no idea how hard it is to just say anything on your own. Thank God you're here. How do people actually fully do this on their own? I couldn't. I'd be talking to the wall. I'm waiting for people to giggle and all. Ha ha. No one was. So thank God Aoife was here today. Myself and Shara will be back together soon, ASAP. But I hope you're all going to have a lovely weekend. Thank you for listening. Any questions on anything, you know where to find us, Hold My Drink Pod. And we will see you guys very, very soon. So do you want to do thank you bye with me for the crack?
Oh, love you. Bye.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Get ready for 1, 2, 3. Love you. Bye. Bye, guys.
Subscribe to this podcast for free on the GoLoud app.
Hi, Lee here, shop floor manager at your new look Tesco Oranmore. We can't wait to welcome you in and show you what we've done with the place. We've made room for lots of new, great value products and fresh produce. We've even got Yo Sushi in store, plus all your favourites from our bakery, new phones with Tesco Mobile, and the latest fashion from F&F. So why not stop by today? Tesco, every little helps.